Hello everyone, how's it going? Hope you're all alright. With this video, we're starting the final chapter in HR, and this is where we're going to talk about human resource management strategy. Now, you remember many a times when we've discussed strategy, we know that strategy is the long term aim of a business. So, this isn't something that you change on a weekly, on a monthly basis. This is something that you decide and you stick with for a longer period of time. And all departments must have their own strategies. So, finance, operations, marketing have had their own strategies, and we've seen them in their own videos. Here, we are discussing the HRM theory, the HRM strategy, which is where we look at how the company as a whole decides to manage its labor, manage its workforce so that they can get the most out of them. And remember, the job of the HR department is to hire the right people, keep them motivated, improve the skill levels, give them trainings, of course. So, all of those are part of everything that HR is supposed to do. So, collectively, they must have a certain focus, certain plan of action going forward, and that comes through the HRM strategy. Now, HRM strategy is simply defined as the medium to long term plans that are implemented by the HR to make sure that workers are being managed in the right way. And the first type of strategy that the HR department could have is called the hard HRM. Now, as this graphic suggests, this is where the worker is very much under supervision. And the idea of having hard HRM is that companies want to focus on cost minimization, which means that you do not need to have workers sitting there doing nothing. There must be constant supervision that they are providing some sort of labor for the money they're being paid. So, workers are not given any extra time. There aren't any extra workers that are hired. Workers are only recruited, trained, and dismissed based on company needs. So, if there is a larger order to be produced, the company will hire more workers. But if the size of order goes down, then they might let go of some of the workers. So it all depends on the needs of the business. And of course, to make sure that no worker is wasting any time, wasting any resources, there is constant supervision in every department. And that's something that, of course, will lead to a little bit of demotivation for the workers to be constantly under the eye. And this sort of HRM strategy is also associated with less salaries, less benefits, fewer chances of delegation to workers. So this is not very good for developing the entire workforce to upgrading the skill levels that they have. And this is a kind of strategy that is closely associated with the autocratic style of leadership. Remember, you want to be more controlling, you want to simply be giving instructions, and that's something that we see in hard HRM, and that's something that we also saw in autocratic style of leadership. Now, don't think that this is a bad kind of leadership style, this is a bad kind of strategy, because in certain situations you want quick actions, in certain situations your workers may not have the skill sets. So, in that situation, you just want a certain output to be produced, a certain level of efficiency to be achieved, and in order to achieve that, you may need to have one rule for all, and you got to keep your costs as low as possible. The other type of strategy is called the soft HRM. And this is where, rather than keeping your cost at a minimum, rather than just keeping your workers skilled enough to do their everyday job, you try to develop your workforce a little bit more. You train them, you equip them, you delegate work, you motivate, you do everything that you can to make sure that your workers can be everything that they can be. So that you want them to grow so that they become useful resources for the organization. So this then is a more humanistic approach to employee management. You want to have good emotional intelligence. You want to see what are the different skills that different workers bring to the table and try to upgrade them, increase them so that there's better coordination. And workers are actually treated as assets, not just resources to use and abuse, not just to give them orders and as soon as they're done, they're shown the door. No, you retain your workers, and that's a good way to increase the levels of motivation, to get your workers to be more loyal and more productive. And of course, a loyal, productive worker would be someone who does not want to leave, so labor turnover also remains under control. This is also where your managers are asked to be more delegating, give up control, give your workers a chance to learn new skills, pay them higher salaries, keep them motivated through the financial and non-financial rewards, make them a bigger part of the decision-making process, and you'll remember that's something that we associate with the democratic style of leadership. Right now, This sounds all pretty good, and of course there are a lot of qualities, but remember, this will only be useful if you have the right skill sets in the organization to let your workers do their things, if you have the time to bring everyone into the decision making roles. So both strategies, when compared to one another, they have their own advantages and disadvantages, and of course different situations will determine. If there's no time and there's shortage of skill and you really want to minimize your cost, then you go hard HRM. If you want to take your time, develop the employees, and see the rewards come through a little bit later, then you go for soft HRM.